G'day again, question 21. 4 cards labelled 2, 3, 5 and 7 are placed on a table to form a 4-digit number. How many different numbers greater than 3,000 can be formed? So this should be pretty straightforward. You've got 4 cards, so what I usually do is make up 4 blank spaces and say how many choices have I got for the first number? Well, 4. And then these are multiplied. Okay, so I've got 4. If we wipe out one, how many have you got left? 3 choices. Take off another one, you've got 2 choices. Take off another one, you've got 1 choice. What's the total number of choices? Well, that equals 24. So we've got 24 choices for all of these numbers. We want numbers greater than 3,000. So the only number we don't want at the front is 2, because as soon as you put a 3 at the front, it's greater than 3,000. So how many choices have we got if we put 2 at the front? So if I put a 2 there, and I say that's 2, how many choices have I got for the rest of the numbers? Well, pretty obviously, I've got the other numbers, which are 3, 5 and 7. How many choices have I got there? Well, I've got 3. Take off 1. How many choices have I got left? 2. How many choices have I got left? 1. So I'm going to take off 6 choices, okay, because this 2's fixed here, and these are the choices of these mixed up. So if you just look at that, you can actually go 3, 5, 7, 3, 7, 5, 5, 7, 3, 5, 3, 7, 7, 3, 5, and 7, 5, 3. So you can tell there are 6 choices if you put a 2 at the front. If that number there is 2, then you've got those 6 choices. So we want this, take away 6. So 24, take away 6 is 18. And your answer is C. G'day again, question 22. The area of the triangle shown is 250 centimetres squared, and they give you this nice picture. They give you 44 degrees, 30, x and 28. What is the value of x to the nearest whole number? So for this, you want area of a triangle. You can look it up on your formula sheet, but you should be looking at half AB sine C. That's the formula you should be working with. Okay? You just plug in the numbers and that's your answer. So let's go. So we're going to go half multiplied by, we're going to look at these ones right there. AB sine C. Okay? So 30 times x times sine 44, and that's going to equal, they tell you it equals 250. Well, half of 30 is 15, so we've got 15 sine 44, and we're going to move that onto the bottom on this side. We're going to divide, okay? So we're going to end up with, if we actually write that on the other side, half of 30, 15, so you're ending up x equals 250 divided by 15 times sine 44. So that's your 15. Okay, punch that in your calculator, and what do you get? Well, you should end up with 23.99, and the closest whole number is obviously 24. So your answer's D, and you're done. G'day again. Question 23. The number of standard drinks in various glasses of wine is shown, and they give you this table. A woman weighing 62 kilograms and drinks 3 small glasses of white wine, so you want small glasses of white wine, and 2 large glasses of red wine. So large glasses red wine, we want that one there. Yep. Between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m, so that's 5 hours. What would her BAC be at 1 a.m? And they give you a choice. So what you need is this formula from your formula sheet, the blood alcohol content of a female. And all you've got to do is put in that number, or the number there, there and there. So you've got 2 of them straight off. The 5 hours, well there's the other one, here's her weight. So those 2 you've got. So the mass is 62, that's going to go there. 5 hours, because that's your H, is going to go there. So then all we've got to do is figure out this N. So the N, do a little bit of work, you've got small glasses. Now she drinks 3 small glasses. So we're going to go 3 times 0.9 plus, make sure that point you can see it, plus 2 large. So 1.5, so 2 times 1.5, and it equals 5.7. Now this question is a little bit of a giveaway. If you're in a rush, you'd actually do that and answer that and you'd actually be correct, but only by accident in this case. So the 5.7 should go there. The thing is, when you put all this in your calculator, you end up with 10 times 5.7 minus 7.5 times 5 divided by 5.5 times 62, and it equals 0.057. So if you're in a rush and you accidentally did that, you would have accidentally got it right. Now that doesn't always work, but in this case, that happened to work. But D is the correct answer, and that's the way you should do it. G'day again. We're right near the end of the multiple choice. So this time they're giving you pure algebra. There's nothing connected to it. You're just figuring out what the next step is for this equation. When you're solving algebra, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. If you do something to an element by multiplying or dividing, you do it to the whole lot. So typically when you would solve this, you would tend to remove something or multiply. So if I multiply by 3, I'd be going times 3 to cancel, and then times 3, times 3, times 3. If I multiplied by 2, on the other hand, times 2, times 2, times 2 by the top. If I subtract, I'll be subtracting the 1. So if I subtract the 1, it's a 0. If I add, I'm going to add 4. Add 4, it becomes 0. Add 4, it becomes 5. So whatever you do to one side, you're doing to the other, unless you're multiplying or dividing. Okay, if you multiply or divide, you do it to the whole lot. So let's go through each of these. Here you've got 2 here, only 1 here. This one's disappeared. So let's get rid of this. How do we get rid of this? We subtract it. So minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. But whatever I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I'm going to subtract 1. Alright, so everything still stays the same. So whoops, I'll leave it there. And we get 2x on 3 minus 5 equals 5x on 2. That's a minus 5. They've put a minus 3. So that's definitely wrong. Let's go to the second one. The second one, they've got 1 element here and 2 here. So they've got rid of the 4. So let's get rid of the 4. So how do you get rid of it? We're going to plus. And whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Yep. So plus 4. So I bring this down, so I get 2x on 3. 0, there's nothing there. Bring this down. Add them together. So I get 1, 2, 3, and look, it's correct. And that's your answer. If you wanted to check those, you could keep checking, but you don't need to. You've already figured out the answer. And you're done. G'day again. Last question. Question 25. Now, as you can see, it's a pretty long question. I had to actually write this up here instead of down the bottom. It takes up half a page on your test sheet, so it looks like this is quite a difficult question. But it's not actually that difficult mathematically. What is clear is that there's a lot of writing. Now, I've underlined the only numbers you need to make the calculation. So you only need that number and those 3 numbers, and that's all you need. You don't need any of the rest of it. But you've got to read through it to understand how to use it. So Jack has 3 insurance policies, and here it's got more than 2, which means that's applicable. So you don't actually need that number or that number other than to tell you, yes, I'm going to do that. And you don't need this 8 years other than to tell you, yes, it's bigger than 5 years, so therefore you need that number. So they're the 3 numbers you need, along with that one. So how much will Jamie pay after all the discounts are applied? So you want to give him that one, and that one, and that's it. So he starts off with 870. He wants the first discount. He wants to take off 15. Now, I've done this before. If you take off 15, you're left with 85. Right? Now he's going to take off another 20%. So if you take off 20, you're going to be left with 80. Alright, you're left with 85, you're left with 80. You multiply those together and you end up with 591.60. And now after, so it says there, the combined discount is always applied last. Alright, this is the combined discount. So you apply that last. So now I'm going to take off 50 and I get 541.60, which is C. So a lot of writing, but you're really only using 4 numbers to do 2 calculations, and that's it.